Guess what? Nike just pulled a total 180 on Caitlin Clark. After ghosting her for months, they suddenly slapped her face on a massive banner at the Indiana Fever Arena. What gives?
A women's basketball player. She deserves it. She deserves it.
Is this a real apology or just damage control after Adidas came knocking? Seriously, let's break this down. Nike's been radio silent on Clark for ages, acting like she didn't exist. Now they're plastering her face everywhere? Come on, it's like they suddenly remembered they signed a $28 million deal with one of the hottest names in basketball.
Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring her?
But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Caitlin and Nike. We're about to unpack why this matters way more than just one athlete and one brand.
Why isn't she being promoted, and how did Nike get her at such a reasonable, wasn't it at 22 or 32?
$28 million.
$28 million over 8 years. I'm like, that doesn't add up to me.
This whole mess is shining a spotlight on how big companies treat women's sports. Are they really invested or just jumping on the bandwagon when it suits them? Honestly, it's time we start asking some hard questions.
And why Nike has been reluctant to take advantage of Caitlin Clark. Because they have. And what I've always thought was like, man, that contract she signed seemed pretty reasonable.
You'd think a $28 million deal would buy some attention, right? Wrong. Nike's silent treatment of Caitlin Clark during her record-breaking rookie season is mind-boggling. How does the world's biggest sports brand manage to ignore one of basketball's brightest stars?
There has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro. Let that sink in. No Caitlin Clark commercial. She's had 4 years of being the biggest star in all of sports, driving all these television ratings. No Nike commercial.
Let's break this down. Nike signed Clark to a massive $28 million contract, promising her a signature sneaker. Sounds like a dream come true for any athlete, especially a rookie. But then, crickets. While Clark was out there setting the court on fire, Nike was practically MIA, and Adidas was plotting their deal.
But despite winning unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, they've got no plans for a Caitlin Clark shoe. Why not? Well, the official reason from Nike is an obvious lie. What are they hiding? Is sports losing popularity? No, Adidas has done pretty well over that time despite ending their partnership with Yeezy.
We're talking about a rookie who didn't just perform well. She dominated. Clark led all rookies in points, assists, steals, viewership, and minutes played. Oh, and did I mention she became the first rookie ever to record a triple-double in the WNBA? That's not just good, that's historic.
That she wasn't the unanimous MVP. She got a team into the playoffs when they hadn't been to the playoffs, I think, since 2016 or 2017. Led them in scoring. She led the rookies in scoring. She led them in assists. She averaged like 6 rebounds a game. She set records for scoring, rebound, assists. I mean, three pointers.
Seriously, it's like they forgot they had one of the hottest names in basketball on their roster. While Clark was breaking records left and right, Nike's marketing department seemed to be on an extended vacation.
See that again. She came off of playing in a national championship game that had over 20 million people tuned into that game, then going straight into the draft, and then going straight into the WNBA and breaking an insane amount of records.
Let's put this in perspective. Remember when LeBron James entered the league? Nike had his signature shoe ready to go from day one. They were all over that, promoting him like crazy, but with Clark, nothing. Nada. Zip.
LeBron James had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for Caitlin Clark for some reason.
And it's not like Nike doesn't know how to promote women's basketball. Look at how they've been pushing Aja Wilson. She's got her shoe, her ads, the whole 9 yards. So what gives with Clark?
He reports Nike wants to prioritize Aja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the 3rd time.
This silence didn't go unnoticed. Fans were scratching their heads. Sports commentators were raising eyebrows. Social media was buzzing buzzing with questions. People were starting to wonder, did Nike even know who they signed? Why can't they be like Wilson?
Wilson capitalized on Caitlin Clark, and they put out signature Caitlin Clark balls and other merch that literally sold out within minutes of them going live. The hype that Caitlin Clark had going into this season, we will not see that again.
The contrast was so stark it became a meme. You had Clark out there breaking records, drawing massive crowds, and Nike's response, radio silence. It was like watching a blockbuster movie premiere with no advertising.
She had the craziest momentum that we have ever seen with any athlete in the history of ever. And the fact that Nike did not capitalize on that, the fact that they are the biggest athletic sportswear brand in the world, and we didn't hear a peep out of them the entire season, it truly makes me wonder, like, if I were Caitlin Clark's management, and again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I would be truly rethinking the deal that I signed up for. How do you miss an opportunity like that?
Critics started pointing fingers, suggesting that maybe there was more to this than just oversight. Some wondered if internal politics at Nike were at play. Was Clark getting sidelined in favor of more established stars? It sure looked that way from the outside, and Adidas was waiting for the right moment, but more on that in a minute.
How do you not capitalize? It doesn't make any sense at all. And playing the politics where, oh, we need to release Asia's shoe first. Well, no, it's not Caitlin's fault that you haven't done anything for Asia yet. And maybe think about, why haven't you released something for Asia yet? Is it because you're not sure how it will sell? And if that's the truth, like, that's just business. Why are we coddling these women? You wouldn't see this on the men's side. If a brand thinks they're gonna sell shoes with a player, they're gonna release some stuff.
And let's talk about timing. Reports started circulating that Nike might not release Clark's signature shoe until 2026. 2026, that's an eternity in sports years. By then, who knows how many more records she'll have broken.
Nike hasn't produced one ad or commercial featuring Clark since she turned pro, and despite a signature shoe being part of Nike's agreement with Clark, it may not be released until 2026, according to sports business reporter Ethan Strauss.
This isn't just about one player getting overlooked. It's raising serious questions about how big brands approach women's sports as opposed to men's. Are they really invested, or are they just paying lip service? Because from where we're sitting, it looks like Nike dropped the ball big time.
Nike, and you've done it for other players. Wemby's shoe was out. LeBron, when he came into the league and there was so much hype around him, he also was somebody who signed a $100+ million, I mean, his contract was like so insane, but hundreds of millions of dollar contract with Nike coming out of high school. LeBron had a shoe going into his first season. They didn't skip a beat.
The frustration was summed up perfectly by one commentator who said, "It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlin Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merch. Nike hasn't produced one ad or commercial featuring Clark since she turned pro."
Since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing.
Just when everyone thought Nike had fumbled their chance with Clark, a new player stepped onto the court. Adidas wasn't just interested, they were ready to go all in. How much would it take to steal basketball's hottest rookie from right under Nike's nose? The answer might shock you. Rumors are swirling that Adidas is eyeing Caitlin Clark with a potential $30 million endorsement deal. Yeah, you heard that right, $30 million. That's not just a step up from Nike's offer, it's a whole staircase. Adidas isn't messing around here. They've seen what Clark can do, and they're ready to bet big.
You know what the contract is?
I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years. It's almost $30 million, something like that.
But it's not just about throwing money at Clark. Adidas is playing this smart. They've got sports icons like Billie Jean King singing Clark's praises. That's some serious star power backing her up. It's like Adidas looked at Nike's playbook, saw all the blank pages, and decided to write their own story. And let's talk about the Caitlin Clark effect for a second. This isn't just hype, it's cold hard numbers. WNBA viewership through the roof. Attendance skyrocketing. Clark's games are pulling in over 1 million viewers on average. That's not just good, that's game changing.
You look at the numbers with Caitlin Clark there. Her first playoff game, drawing 1.84 million viewers. ridiculous numbers. The highest rated playoff game since game 2 of the 2000 WNBA finals. This wasn't even just an opening round game back in 2000. This was one of the finals games. So this clearly is showing how much of an impact Caitlin Clark is having.
Adidas saw what Nike seemed to miss. Clark isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. While Nike was busy, well, doing whatever they were doing, Adidas recognized Clark's star power and the potential for some serious sales. It's like they found a gold mine that Nike was using as a parking lot.
She landed a major endorsement deal with Adidas. This partnership is a game changer. It's a huge win for Clark and for women's basketball.
This Adidas deal isn't just about sneakers, it's a statement. It's Adidas saying, hey, we see you, women's sports. We're not just here for the men's game. They're investing in the future, and that future looks a lot like Caitlin Clark.
This will be a whole new offering and probably tap into a market that Nike and other sports apparel companies really haven't before. Obviously, little girls are going to wear them. I think plenty of dudes are going to wear them. You're just going to see those things in high demand.
You know what's really wild? While Adidas is out here making moves, Nike's sitting on what could be the marketing opportunity of a generation. And what are they doing with it? Pushing old product, aka A'ja Wilson. It's like having a Ferrari in your garage and using it to deliver newspapers.
These leftists are idiots. Idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlin Clark. It's bad business, it's short-sighted.
Billie Jean King from Adidas even jumped in to praise Clark. She's out here talking about Clark's achievements and her impact on the game.
Stated, Adidas Global Ambassador congratulating Caitlin Clark while the brands that signed her didn't even acknowledge her achievement. Shame on you, Nike. Also, I'm still shocked that after it was leaked that she won the WNBA Rookie of the Year, they didn't address the matter or recognize her as the winner.
Turns out Nike wasn't totally asleep at the wheel. They were just moving in slow motion. They finally rolled out the red carpet for Clark, but seriously, what took them so long? And more importantly, is this too little, too late, or the start of a major comeback? Let's talk about Nike's grand gesture. After months of radio silence, they suddenly slapped a massive banner of Caitlin Clark at the Indiana Fever Arena. Talk about a wake-up call. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this a genuine apology or just Nike scrambling to save their deal with Caitlin before she takes up Adidas? The timing is suspicious, to say the least. Right when Adidas is making moves, Nike decides to remember they've got a superstar on their roster. Come on, it's like they found Clark's contract stuffed in the back of a drawer and went, oh yeah, her. But
take a look. This Nike billboard honors the all-time NCAA Division I scoring leader.
Let's be real, this isn't just about Nike and Clark. This whole mess has blown the lid off a bigger issue: how brands treat women's sports. Are they really invested or just playing catch up when they realize they've missed the boat?
Nike, an organization that got her on a bargain basement deal and is telling her, well, we're going to wait to promote you until we're done promoting A'ja Wilson. And she's in the middle of all of these racial discussions that she has nothing to do with, wants nothing to do with, and then they're demonizing her fans.
It took Adidas showing interest for them to suddenly remember they've got a $28 million deal with one of basketball's brightest stars. Think about it. Clark's been setting the court on fire, breaking records left and right. This situation's got everyone talking. Fans are fired up, calling out Nike for dropping the ball. And you know what? They're right. It's 2024, and we're still having to remind big brands that women's sports matter. Seriously. But here's the silver lining. Public pressure works. All those disappointed fans, all those social media callouts, they made a difference. Nike couldn't ignore the noise anymore. It's a wake-up call for every brand out there. You can't just pay lip service to women's sports and expect to get away with it. Alright, let's break this down. The Caitlin Clark saga with Nike, it's not just about one player and one brand. This whole mess is shining a spotlight on how big companies treat women's sports in comparison to men's sports. Are they really invested or just jumping on the bandwagon when it suits them?
The WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million for 8 years.
Nike's last-minute banner for Clark? Too little, too late. But here's the thing. It happened because fans and supporters refused to stay quiet. Your voice matters, folks. Use it. This could be a game changer for how brands deal with female athletes. So what's next? Keep pushing. Don't let up. Demand equal opportunities and fair treatment in sports endorsements, because guess what? The real MVP in all of this, it's you, the fans who stood up for Caitlyn when Nike wouldn't. Remember that next time you see a brand sleeping on talent.